Hello everyone. Happy Thursday. How's it going? Today is February 15th, 2018, and this is the stream for Fantasy Flight Interactive and the Lord of the Rings Living Card Game. We are streaming our game as we continue development here. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. What we're basically doing is we're giving people an early look at the game while it's still in development prior to its release in early access. And we're kind of just tuning and twisting the game and continuing to develop. So you're going to see some changes from now until the final build of the game. You've probably already seen some if you are a viewer who has been with us multiple times. But if you're not, welcome, like I said. And yeah, you're going to see the game continue to change. Actually, that's the primary thing I wanted to talk about today. We've been tuning cards mostly, and that's kind of where we're at right now. You're going to see a lot of card changes over the next coming weeks. That's kind of just what we've been doing with development time. We've been tuning and changing some stuff, so you're going to see a lot of changes, including a couple cards today, even some stuff we revealed on Tuesday's stream. If you didn't see that, we showed Sam's pack for the first time. And in there we showed some cards, and some of those have already changed since that unveiling. And we're going to continue to do that in development, especially over the coming weeks. You're going to see a lot of changes. So if you're keeping up with the streams, you're gonna see some cards continue to develop. Today I've got two new Valor cards to show you. It was going to be 3, but Erkenbrand decided to come out a little bit early on Tuesday's stream. We'll take a closer look at him, though, in the deck builder, as well as 2 other Leadership Valor cards, cards that we are going to be playing with in the deck today as well. So we're going to look at those. We're going to look at some of the other tunings that we've made. It's been a busy week here at FFI. I myself have been doing a lot of press stuff with showing the game off, so you should start seeing some of those articles start to get posted as we continue to do that kind of produce that kind of content. We are also like I said, we've been changing a lot of cards. We've been working pretty hard to get this game out get this game polished and where we expect to be for release in early access. We are still shooting for a Q1 2018 early access release with a full release to follow after that. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for so far. Yes. Other than that, yeah, we have no other kind of release dates to announce, anything like that. But yeah, just a couple of things to show, a couple of things to talk about today, and that's about it. So yeah, let's jump in and take a look at some cards first of all. So we looked at Sam Gamgee already. He has not changed since we already played with him. He's got his 1 attack, his 2 willpower, and 8 health. He's got Stalwart, gets +1 attack, and Surge when Sauron has 0 resources. And he has his 8 starting threat. What else do we have today? We have Erkenbrand, which he came out because of a sneak attack a little bit earlier. He has both block and guard, 2 attack, 4 health, and 0 willpower. He's a unique, so you're only going to be able to have 1 copy of him out. He is a Valor card, one of the unique Valor cards. A pretty powerful card defensively because of both block and guard. Block's going to block the first point of damage that he receives, and guard is going to mean that he has to be attacked before any other characters can be attacked within your party. That includes your heroes, which is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of him. Then there's Ever Vigilant, which is kind of a unique event card that we've added to the Valor collection for this go here. We haven't seen this card before. It's going to ready a character for the cost of 1 resource, so it's pretty powerful. One of the things you have to worry about, however, is that if you spend the resource to play the card, Sauron gets an action right after you because you're playing a card during your your main phase. Your adventuring phase, that is. So when that happens, you basically have to worry about him using an enemy to immediately exhaust that enemy. So something to think about when you're playing out this card, but we're doing something kind of cool with it with today's deck too. As I mentioned earlier, Hobbit Cloak's already changed, so we shifted this card to a unique. This was something we'd been thinking about in development for a while, and we kind of just pulled the trigger on it. We switched it to a unique, put a Hobbit's only restriction on it, and actually lowered its cost to 1 here. So on upkeep, Sauron's going to lose a resource with this card. It's pretty powerful, and in conjunction with in conjunction with Sam and Frodo, because of their abilities that trigger when Sauron has 0 resources. It is a special attachment, but you kind of see this is one of the cards that we've modified even since Tuesday. We're also going to be playing with Halfling Determination, which was another card that we spoiled on Tuesday's stream. That's going to be in today's deck, as well as Bilbo's Cloak. And then finally, I have one last card to spoil for you guys today, and that's Sigil Miner, who's also going to be in our card. Here's an ally that doesn't really fight. We've seen a lot of combat-focused allies so far. We have not seen so many characters who are focused more on support in terms of allies. So Sigil Miner is one of those. You're going to be able to exhaust him to get an extra resource. It's in today's deck. I'm not sure if it's going to stay in there. I mostly put it in there because I wanted to show off the new card, but I actually don't know how well it contributes to what we're doing with today's build. Either way, it's a cool card, and kind of gives you some idea of some of the other things leadership can do that aren't just combat focused. So yeah, that's what we've got for today. And today's build is pretty cool. We've got it's a leadership. Oh, that's not today's build at all. Here we go. Today's build is a leadership, lore, and spirit deck with Sam, Frodo, and Faramir. You see, there's some leadership cards in here. They're mostly cards in order to support or protect your characters. Ever Vigilant is in there to ready them up. And then we've got a couple allies with Guard, Erkenbrand, and Guard of the Citadel. Sigil Miner, who gives you more resources so you can play your more expensive allies. And then a sneak attack thrown in there because I like playing sneak attack. Then we also have some lore cards. They're mostly support. You're gonna have a lot of ways to heal your characters within this. There's Lembas, which allows you to ready them up as well. I'm all just here. Caregiver, Halfling Determination, which is kind of the big heal card in this deck. Self-preservation, and then a couple of ways to exhaust and deal with enemies. Then you've got your two neutral allies. I actually think we could increase the number of these if we wanted to when we're modifying the deck, because I've been okay on resources, and they're pretty powerful cleanup for what you're trying to do here. So having ways to instantly deal with enemies basically is really powerful, and resources aren't as much of an issue. We also have some of the support cards finally in Spirit, which are going to help us contribute to the objective as quick as possible. So this deck is kind of a race deck. It's trying to complete the objective with as low of a threat and as low of an overall, as high of a score basically as you could possibly get. So there's secret paths in order to contribute an extra 2 to the objective. Bilbo's Cloak, which is going to be able to steal resources and kind of slow down, provide some disruption. Since we're playing hobbits, it kind of made sense to include it in the deck. And then Favor of Lady gives another willpower to our characters. In case we're having trouble triggering Frodo or Sam, it can give us some extra willpower to make sure those objectives complete as fast as possible. I think that this deck could be potentially powerful depending on which quest you pick. We're doing quest 3 here. Remember that we've done quest 3 before, and this is one of the ones with branching paths, so depending on where you go, your objectives are going to be different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight for the objective focused branches of this quest. The challenge being with that is that a lot of the objectives here in the objective focused version of branch 3 of quest 3, excuse me, they have pursuit enemies on them. So there's like the bear that has pursuit, the warg riders. There's a lot of characters that are going to follow you from location to location. So being able to deal with them while you're keeping your threat down and moving through fast in these kind of speed decks is kind of your biggest challenge. So that's something to definitely do here. So let's hit save and let's get started here. We'll jump into Adventures in Wilderland in that third quest here. This is Lost in Mirkwood. We have our deck selected, 26 starting threat. So we're going to try to end it under 30, which is the starting threat for a lot of other decks. That's going to be challenging, but I think having enough allies with high enough willpower and then to complete that objective and having the prior knowledge of this particular leg of the quest, the combination of those two factors means that I think we're going to be okay. So let's get started then. Let's see if we can do it.
You have escaped from the spider's dark colony, only to find yourself lost in the vastness of Mirkwood. The forest.
So remember, this is after Quest 2, after we escape from defeat Ungoliant spawn. We're back in Mirkwood and we're trying to escape as fast as we can. You'll see the branching paths. We're going to go down a deliberate one, knowing which where it leads. We can potentially try out other ones too if we fail or something goes wrong here. Ransom Man, if you ready a hero with Stalwart to Stalwart, get another activation. That's a good question. So the way Stalwart works is just that it doesn't exhaust when it's attacked the first time. So I'm not sure if that check persists, but that's something to think about. We'll see. Okay, so our opening hand here, we've got a Secret Paths, we have a Guard, which is what we want. We also want to keep gaining strength because we can get a little low if we don't. I don't think we need Halfling Determination or the Caregiver. I'm getting confirmation that Stalwart won't persist, so it's only the first time you're attacked in a round. So you won't get a second Stalwart if you ready up that character again. Yeah, Engage. It's been pretty rewarding being able to build with the new cards now that we've expanded the card pool a little bit and shown you guys a little bit more stuff. Just from a personal perspective, like being able to build new decks and try out new strategies has been really exciting for me, for sure. We'll go over the new cards again at the end of the adventure here too, if you'd like. Chris, that's right. So it's only the first time it's attacked. So any other ways that you ready the character, the Stalwart doesn't care about. It only cares about the first time it's attacked in a round, basically. Okay, so we've got a Guard, we've got a Black Forest Bats, the Giant Spider, the Black Forest Bats, and the Wild Bear. This is the one that has Pursuit. So, Spooked Horses is actually pretty rough here. So we're going to lose 2 resources. We can Gaining Strength to get a Guard out at least. Let's draw some cards. So the reason I want to get a Guard out is to protect not only Bilbo, but Sam. Enemies tend to kind of go after Sam since he's the lowest health without any kind of stealth. They try to finish him off before anybody else most of the time. So that's something to think about. Basically, you want to get a Guard out early in order to protect him from the enemies as they continue to quest. Normally what we would do... Oh, we do have 2 Gaining Strengths. So we could potentially Guard up, Gaining Strength, Secret Paths, and travel immediately. Yeah, I keep saying Bilbo. Sorry about that, guys. Frodo. I'm thinking about Bilbo's cloak. Yeah, anyway. So Frodo and Sam here. Let's do that. Let's Gaining Strength. Play out the Guard of the Citadel. And I'm just going to Gaining Strength here, because if we do it during the adventure phase, that's an action, so Sauron will get another attack back in. Bilbo's cloak is the updated Hobbit cloak. It's in this deck. If we don't see it, we'll jump in the deck builder and take a look at them after. Let's do this then. We are ready to go.
Come on and taste it again.
So we'll quest for 2 there. Get a first attack. Lose our Guard. Fortunately, because Frodo is stealthed up, he's not going to get attacked here. We could attack to exhaust with Faramir here. Basically, it just ensures that Sam doesn't take that damage. If we do that though, then Frodo can be attacked because he'll be exhausted. So we do have to quest with Frodo. See where the... Okay, that's fine. So now only the bats could potentially get into Frodo because all of our characters are exhausted. Stealth is down. But they could also go after Sam, or they could even go after Faramir since there's some damage on him. Either way, we will Secret Paths to apply 2 progress to the objective, and we will travel immediately. First round, 26th threat. Moving forward. Exunt stage left, pursued by a bear. You English majors in the audience might get that reference. So yeah, that bear's going to follow us to the next location. All of the pursuit characters are going to follow us, and we're basically going to try to just not like ignore them, just not even engage with them, and move forward as quick as we can. That's kind of our plan here for this quest, and we'll see if it works out. Usually what ends up happening is the last board is pretty crowded, but we'll see if we can just do it. Ransom, yeah, we are thinking about colorblind for a lot of exhaustion and things like that. Audience members who are colorblind, if you are having trouble, do let me know, so we can make sure everything is going to be able to going to be accessible for people. Thinking about sneak attacking in here just to get another ally on the board. So now we've got 3 pursuit characters, and because the Warg Riders give all orcs pursuit, if he plays another orc, it's going to be a total of 4 pursuit characters, which is going to be rough. The reason I'm thinking about playing sneak attack here, our horses got spooked again, which kind of disrupts our plan. The reason I'm thinking about playing sneak attack is just to get more bodies on the board. Frodo being at 4 means that I can pretty easily clear him out with Sam since he's got Stalwart. Even if he gets attacked, I'll get to activate him. But I think it's still worth it to sneak attack and see what we get. Hey, Gonbury. He's going to get 3 willpower, actually, and stealth himself. So even if we don't get to activate with Sam for whatever reason, we're probably going to be able to clear with Gonbury because of his stealth and his high willpower based on the extra objective. So that it's 2 because of the base of the quest is that there's always 2 objectives because there's different areas for you, and then there's the 3rd that Sauron played here with rescue the horses. Keep in mind, guys, that VFX, card frames, card art, everything is not final and still subject to change, and very well might over the course of the coming weeks. All right, so here we know that we are going to search for a path. Like I said, you can branch out. We know that the Investigate Smoke objective leads to a more combat-focused area, so we're actually just going to try to search for the path and go as fast as we can. Let's move forward. Get our activation from the bear first. I'm going to just move. If I exhaust Sam by moving forward then both of our stealth characters can be attacked. So I think I finish it off with Gonbury. Yeah, no problem, Ransom. We appreciate it because it's something that I've been thinking about too, and a lot of people also have been talking about it. Hey, great company. See you in the chat here too. Thanks for joining us. No, it's something that I'm concerned about with too, and it's something to always think about with games like this. So it's definitely something we've been talking about in the design. As I was saying, if we exhaust Sam, then our stealth characters can be attacked, which potentially we could lose Frodo then. One of the things to think about too that's really cool, and I noticed it today when I was testing, is that Frodo and Sam both kind of synergize in a cool way because of the way Stalwart works. So since stealth only cares about exhausted characters, because Sam doesn't exhaust the first time he's attacked, you have less of a chance of your stealth characters being taken down. I think that's super cool. I completely missed that within the original designs, and that's totally feels like a Caleb thing. Very Caleb-y in its design. So we travel immediately. We're gonna get our attacks in. The pursuit enemies will not attack because they are pursuing us, so they'll just join us in this last location. We've got a lot on the board here. We're still at 26 threat. It's gonna go up now. Alright, Forest Snare is a really good pull. And Sauron's going to spend his last 2 resources to get our characters up to 6. So if we activate Sam first, we're going to make it. It looks like our threat should be a little bit higher because of the way we've integrated threat, but it looks like this is on an old build, so that's why that's not changing. I think I just get guard out, or maybe I Forest Snare to lose 1 activation. Either way, it's basically 1 activation, so if I put it on a character, none of these characters have surge, so I can drop it on any of them, and it's subtracting an attack, a single attack. He attacks with the bear, or attacks with, okay, so he attacks with a 3 attack, doesn't kill anything. Yeah, we're fine either way, it doesn't matter. We can just exhaust here, end our planning phase, move forward with Sam. He gives an attack. Sam's got Surge now because he's at 0 resources, so he's not exhausted, so Frodo's still protected. And we travel. And we complete the quest, just like that. Not scared of the pursuit enemies, not scared of any of the enemies on the board. and not scared of the activations, we kind of made it. So that's what I was talking about with this Sam Frodo deck. Like I said, it is totally a synergy-based strategy. However, this went incredibly well, basically. This went incredibly well for us, and it's kind of one of the changes now that we're playing around with should guard protect objectives or not. It's kind of a glass hammer strategy that I've employed here. There's a lot of ways for it to go very, very poorly. Noise indeed. I think that's how you would pronounce that. Noise? I like noise. But yeah, basically, we clear, all of our heroes survive. We did use a favor card, so we won't get that bonus, but we'll get bonuses for completing our objectives too. We could have potentially stuck around and tried to complete those side objectives to get a better Valor score, those rescue the horses, which I wasn't expecting, by the way. None of the times when I had played prior when I was testing, had I gotten my horses spooked like that, so I hadn't lost my resources. So that was a little bit of a bump, but we made it through. Other thing to note is that with this guard change, we have been talking about rebalancing some of the objectives too to make them a little higher and make them a little more in line. So moving through that quickly is probably not something you'll be able to do in the final game, but it gives you an idea of kind of what Spirit's trying to do when it fires on all cylinders, basically. That was basically, that was taking that quest with that deck. See somebody in the chat suggesting trying it on hard mode. I would be okay with doing that. We have enough time where I could try it one more time and see if we can complete it with that on hard mode. Like I said, the objectives are going to change, so we're not going to be able to move through quite that fast in the final game. But I've been enjoying breaking it as we continue to test the game. This is kind of the process of development. This is how it goes. We try things, try new things, and then keep on revising and reiterating. So Quad, no, traveling there was instant because of the nature of Quest 3. Because there's 2 objectives and you're racing through the forest, traveling is instant without you hitting the button. And pursuit enemies actually don't attack on you traveling. They attack you in the next round because they keep following you. So basically, that deck takes advantage of that, the build of that quest, and is basically optimally built to play through that as fast as you can with all that knowledge, basically. So, like, had I been going in blind, or had there been less enemies with pursuit, they wouldn't have followed me, but they would have gotten those attacks in. Basically, the worst case scenario that you have with that deck in that scenario is that you get a the worst case scenario that you get with that is that you get like a bunch of the wargs in play because they have surge. So every time you travel, you're getting hit by them twice. And then basically they end up finishing off Sam and you lose that way. That was kind of how I was losing most of the time when I was testing with this. But optimally, you get all those pursue enemies. You kind of just bait them along as you continue going down the path, and you make it eventually. I do think that hard difficulty integration is working, so I'd be willing to give that a shot real quick if we move forward. Yeah, Val. We're actually we're working on integration and making things a little bit clearer. So that's something we are talking about too. Like I said, we're in polishing and tweaking and tuning stages. So yeah, we also kind of think that needs to be a little bit clearer, basically. And we're talking about that internally and coming up with ways of doing that. Let's give it a shot on hard. I'm not sure if hard integration is fully in the build, so we'll see. But Sauron should at least have access to more resources. We'll see what happens here. Give it a shot. Yeah, Ransom. I saw that idea. That's super neat. That's kind of that's open design space is basically what I would say about that. But yeah, having things like we're in an interesting spot where we're taking this game and building it from something that has existed for a long time and is very complex and very dense and very compelling because of those reasons, and building something less, something that can start and gain that complexity as it continues throughout its life. So we're talking about that too. Yeah, I agree, Val. Okay, so here we are. This is actually a really bad opening hand. These are like all your late game cards and the miner. I'll keep the miner and get like one activation off of him maybe. You know the reason he's not really great in this deck is because this is like a deck that is trying to that's trying to leave as soon as possible, and basically you can't afford the activation with him in this deck. If you were playing with like a Legolas, if you're playing like Legolas, Aragorn, Arwen, where it's more of a controlling deck, you'd probably want to take the Miner. But in this deck, I just don't know if he's who we'd like to keep around. I could keep him in Forest Snare though. That way we have access to an extra resource. Yeah, I like Halfling Determination a whole lot too. It's actually one of the engines for this deck when things do go poorly. Okay, this hand is like fine. It's like not great, but it's okay. There's the wargs that I was talking about earlier. So if you get a lot of these, since they have Surge, they end up meaning a lot of damage. They get +1 when they're attacking, so they don't look too intimidating. If you're a combat deck, they're not that intimidating because it's only like a 1/4. You can deal with that pretty easy. But when they're attacking you, they get the +1, and with the Surge too, they can go twice. So they are pretty powerful. I don't really like, the math doesn't get better if I favor the Lady either my characters in this particular case. 2, 4, 6, so we can Secret Paths and potentially get rid of it in a turn. We're probably going to lose the Miner right away if I play him out. So I guess we'll just do that, and then save our resources and potentially use them to heal on the next location. The other thing is that we could Forest Snare. Ooh, that's pretty good. If we Forest Snare the bear, gaining strengths and Secret Paths, we can move forward to the next location, and the bear will continue to be snared. Bear without a snare. The bear will be snared on the next location too, and he won't be able to exhaust. He'll have to exhaust then. So I think maybe that's what we want to do here. So gain the extra resource, Force Snare the bear. He's now exhausted. I forgot he had Stalwart too. This guy's really powerful. I'm just going to Secret Paths here so that it doesn't take away one of our activations. Put the progress on the location there. End our planning. Val, that's a good question. I think you can only activate characters during the adventuring phase. I don't think you can use his ability with... I don't think you can use his ability during planning right now. But I could be wrong. Snare Bear there.
Come on and taste it again.
Chat's getting poetic. Oh, Sigil can be used during planning. It was just confirmed to me. So you can use the Sigil Miner during your planning phase, which makes him a bit more useful in this deck, actually. He's pretty powerful then. 2 to use 1 resource and then just keep him there. You give him stealth. You know, if you combine him with the Sylvan Tracker, I think it is, that gives stealth. If you combine him with them, you can basically get a bunch of... You can start getting a lot of resources out. So like in an ally-focused deck, the Miner actually might be kind of really powerful, especially if you're using him during your planning phase like that. Super cool. Oh, since it's a power, you can activate it any time as long as they're ready. So that's how it works. So instead of it being like you can only activate characters during your adventure, with powers you activate those whenever they're ready and whenever they're capable of using. Interesting. Yeah. No, there's a guy directly across from me who every time I say something wrong just pikes up from his desk. No. I'm getting help from my coworkers while we're here in the chat though. Okay, so we travel immediately. Sauron goes after Frodo. Interesting. So on normal, he usually goes after Sam first. Here on hard, he's targeting Frodo. Super interesting.
Scanning the horizon, you notice.
Okay. So same situation as before. We still have the Warg Riders to deal with. However, now we've got another Warg in play. Mirkwood Flock. Anything with those 3 resources? Is he going to keep them in his... Oh, okay. So Treachery could exhaust an ally when we play it. Could make us discard when we play a card, which wouldn't be so bad because our hand's kind of janky right now. I don't know. It could be a... Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but he's saving 2 resources in his back pocket, too, so he'll go up to 5 or 6 next turn. I just hope he's not... If he's holding on to another pursuit... If he's holding on to another Warg Riders, then we're in trouble. If not, we might be okay. Part of me thinks that we just, like, minor, grab a resource, use the last resource to Caregiver, and then just, like, dump our hand with allies. That seems alright to me. Let's try doing that.
Strike where the iron is hot.
Okay. So it was this. If we lose the Caregiver, then that's a problem. I'm okay with losing the Trollshaw Scout or the Favor. Okay, that's fine. So now we'll ready him up. We'll use his power. See, we kind of got a glow here. This is also temporary, these kinds of VFX, but it gives you kind of an idea that when a character is able to use. We'll use his power here. Get our second resource. Oh, unfortunately, it's not letting me play the Caregiver. Well, that's a bug. That's unfortunate. There goes our plan, but... Yeah, basically my plan here was to use that second resource to play out the Caregiver. You know, as we continue to add these cards, you're going to see some hiccups, basically. Let's end our planning phase.
Come on and taste it again. For the Shire.
Put 2 progress on the objective. Okay. Rest in peace, Sigil Miner. You did your duty. You mined hard and then lived hard, die hard. Live by the mine, die by the mine. Doesn't really apply in this situation, but I bet it's true. Alright, Sauron decides not to attack with his Mirkwood Flock, which means he's probably sticking it around to try to exhaust our characters. However, we should be okay. Gain our resource. Sauron's... Okay, so he's saving an... so he plays an Elite Dulgador Orcs, which is a problem because now it has Pursuit, based on the Warg Riders. Same with the East Bay Patrol. All the Orcs are going to gain Pursuit. So basically we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 enemies following us. However, one of them is exhausted. Now, I don't know if we heal up Faramir or we heal up Frodo, because Frodo's the actual, like... He's the one who's actually going to be pulling the most weight in finishing this quest, but if Faramir goes down, then basically we lose our other heroes pretty quickly. I'm okay with that, though, because the Caregiver has 2 willpower, so actually it should accelerate us to finishing pretty quickly here. Let's play him out. I'm going to end up healing Frodo, I think. This could be wrong, but let's just give that a shot. Yeah, Val, I mean, that's kind of the trade-off with doing these kinds of streams, and basically our philosophy was, like, we would prefer to just, like people are literate enough of the process to understand, like, things are works in progress, but we prefer to just kind of get it out in front of eyes as soon as we can. That was kind of just our approach with it. So here we are. I'm not going to exhaust any of my characters so that I can leave Frodo as powerful as protected, rather, as he could possibly be. So I'm just going to use him to complete the objective. So we're not going to get an attack from these pursuing enemies. We will get 1 from the Warg and 1 from the Flock, probably. So actually that's not a ton of damage, but we could potentially lose. Okay. Okay, so he splits it up. Oof. So we are going to get them, despite the fact that they gain Pursuit. Since they don't have it naturally, they're going to do that.
After a long, desperate search, you find a
Going to upkeep. Okay, so sneak attack should give us enough allies where we'll be able to complete this. Ooh, or not. So that's probably the game. Exhaustion is the other silver bullet for this deck. Let's see what we get off sneak attack. Okay, sure. We lose a card. Barleyman Butterbur. That's not what I wanted at all. Well, that's a problem. So on upkeep, this card can give you... he gives you a 50% chance of drawing a card, so it's about worth half a card every upkeep. So he's alright. He's not good when you sneak attack, though. He's about the worst thing we could have possibly gotten off this sneak attack here. He's going to activate once, and that's about it. So we'll just We'll send him in against some damage here to exhaust the character. And then just let him do his attacks. Enter adventuring phase. Okay, okay. Disarm pad. Alright, alright. So we might actually be okay then. Since we were able to exhaust 2 of the most dangerous enemies we had there. Another bear, but that's alright. We hit 30 threats, so we weren't able to keep it under that. That's unfortunate, but here we are. End our planning.
You just show me the way up.
Sam
I'll
first.
sting you.
Loose Faramir. Looks like that's probably it for us then.
There is no veil between.
Yep. And then finish it off. So we weren't able to do it on hard,
Last
but we were able to do it on normal.
journey to a
Kind of an interesting deck, right? Pretty exciting. Hopefully in the future when we continue to modify stuff, strategies like this will continue to be viable. So let's one more quick summary for people who might have missed new cards this week. We have Sam Gamgee, who's our new hero. We have, yeah, Guard might have saved it there, sorry. You are probably correct. We have Ergenbrand, who's one of the new Valor cards. We saw him off Sneak Attack on Tuesday. Bill the Pony, part of the Sam Gamgee pack. Ever Vigilant, another Valor card. Pretty powerful in that deck. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Tricky to use, but a big reward if you can effectively. Bilbo's Cloak, formerly Hobbit Cloak. We made it unique. We'll lower the cost as well. Halfling Determination, a really powerful healing card. Nice event for those Hobbit-focused decks. We didn't get to use it in that last deck, but I have used it before, and it's been pretty effective there. We've got Lembas. Well, we already showed Lembas, excuse me. I did play it in that deck, though. And I believe there should be... Oh, Taste It Again was the one we missed. Taste It Again, which we didn't include in our deck. Gives us ambush against the next attack. Kind of a nice preparation. Nice and thematic for Sam as well. And Sigil Miner, finally, who allows you to gain a extra resource when you exhaust him. So pretty powerful. So yeah, that's what I have to show for you today. We'll be back on Tuesday with another stream, some other cards to show, and maybe hopefully talk about some new stuff too, some news. So as always, I'm Luke, the community manager here at Fantasy Flight Interactive. You can get in contact with us on the Steam forums, the Steam community. You can go ahead and contact us on Twitter at FFI_games. Excuse me, FFI_games is our Twitter handle. Facebook.com/FFI_games. And you can also find us on youtube.com/fantasyflightinteractive. So you can find us on all those different networks. Contact us. Let us know what you're thinking of the game, where it is at in progress. As always, the best way to let people know, let our publishers know, let everyone know that you are interested in getting this game as soon as possible, is to add it to your Steam wish list. So please add this game to your Steam wish list. Please let us know that you are looking forward to the game. And that you are ready and willing for those updates too. You'll start getting updates on the game as we get closer to launching the game here in Q1 2018. So please add the game to your wish list. Please join us on those social networks, and hopefully we'll be able to see you on some future streams here at twitch.tv/FFIGames. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great weekend, guys. And we will be able to, we'll see you soon. Yeah, thanks. Bye.